Ladies and gentlemen, Claressa Shields just turned 30, but instead of cake, candles, and celebration, what she got was the messiest scandal of her entire career. Picture this. 3 men, 1 tattoo rumor, and a birthday night so chaotic that even her fans are screaming, "What did we just witness?" Because while the cameras caught her shining in a golden crown, behind the scenes, whispers about papoose, tension with Tony Rich, and an intimate moment with Lil Scrappy started spiraling out of control. And before the clock even struck midnight, Claressa's name was already trending, not for her boxing belts, but for the men circling around her like vultures at a feast. Anonymous DMs allegedly leaked from the party claim that Scrappy's name wasn't just on her lips, it might soon be on her skin. Yes, the tattoo rumor. Meanwhile, Tony Rich, the so-called ex who never really left, reportedly caused a scene that had people clutching their phones, desperate to record. And as if that wasn't enough, Papoose, the man already entangled in this messy saga, allegedly showed up looking like he just walked into the wrong soap opera. This wasn't a birthday, it was a battlefield. And the chaos? Just getting started. Welcome back to the Celebrity Press, where secrets are explode before your eyes. And also like and subscribe to a channel for more latest updates. Claressa's 30th birthday was supposed to be a night of sparkle, champagne, and endless Instagram moments. But let's be real, this is Claressa Shields. Nothing in her life happens without a scandal bubbling underneath the surface, and this time, the drama didn't even wait for the cake to be cut. The whispers started early, long before she even walked into her golden-themed bash. Rumors were flying that 3 men, all from different chapters of her past, were about to collide in one explosive night. And trust me, it wasn't a coincidence. First, there was Tony Rich, the so-called ex who won't stay ex. People close to the party swore they saw him lurking near the VIP entrance hours before the event officially started. Anonymous texts circulating on gossip blogs painted Tony as the shadow who won't leave Claressa's orbit. Some even claimed he was invited just to cause trouble, to stir the pot. And boy, did he deliver. Guests say Tony wasn't just there to wish Claressa a happy birthday. He came with receipts. Receipts about old nights, old secrets, and maybe even old flings that Claressa hoped were long buried. Then came Lil Scrappy. If Tony was the ghost of her past, Scrappy was the chaos of her present. Cameras caught him walking in with his usual swagger, grinning ear to ear, as if he already knew he was about to steal the spotlight. And here's the kicker. By the end of the night, whispers spread that Claressa might actually be planning to get his name tattooed on her body. Imagine that. 30 years old, world champion, and the headline isn't about her boxing legacy, but about whether she's turning her skin into a tabloid front page. Fans online exploded with comments. "Lil Scrappy tattoo next," one wrote, while another mocked. Her 30s started with 3 men already. The internet wasn't just watching, it was salivating. And then, Papoose. Poor Pap. If Tony was the past and Scrappy was the present, then Papoose was the embarrassment Claressa couldn't shake. Ever since the whispers started about him being pulled into her orbit, Pap's name has been dragged through the mud. Anonymous Twitter accounts claimed he was seen walking into the party with a face that screamed, "I don't belong here." He wasn't there for cake. He wasn't there for champagne. If the rumors are true, he was there to catch Claressa red-handed, or maybe golden-handed, with the wrong man on her arm. And the tension when Papoose allegedly locked eyes with Tony Rich? One guest swears they thought fists were about to fly before the DJ even dropped the first beat. The night played out like a bad reality show. Claressa, smiling for the cameras, but behind her eyes you could almost see the panic. Every toast, every laugh, every fake cheers felt like it was covering up the ticking time bomb under her golden crown. Tony reportedly confronted her at least twice, once near the bar and once near the photo booth. Both times, witnesses say her smile never faded, but her grip on the champagne glass got tighter. Scrappy, on the other hand, was all laughs and energy, playing the role of the life of the party. But people couldn't help but notice how close he stayed to Claressa all night. Too close. And when fans saw him whisper something in her ear as the cake rolled out, the speculation hit overdrive. But the most shocking part? A mysterious video clip that started circulating hours later. Blurry, grainy, clearly shot on someone's phone, but powerful enough to set Twitter on fire. In the clip, a voice that sounded suspiciously like Tony Rich could be heard yelling, "So you gonna let him mark you for life?" While another voice, Claressa's maybe, shouted back, "At least he ain't hiding nothing." The crowd around them gasped, music still blaring in the background, as someone tried to shush the argument. But the damage was done. The rumor of a scrappy tattoo was no longer just gossip. It was practically confirmed by the birthday girl herself. Meanwhile, Papoose's role in the chaos only got messier. Some say he tried to intervene, to calm things down, to stop the party from turning into a circus. Others claim he only made it worse, that his very presence was gasoline on the fire. One witness told a gossip site, "Pap looked like he wanted to fight every man in that room, but also looked like he didn't even know why he was there." And when someone allegedly shouted, "Pap, you can't win for losing, bro," the entire party supposedly erupted into nervous laughter. It was a moment straight out of a reality TV confessional, and Claressa's golden birthday was the stage. But here's the thing, all this wasn't just random. According to whispers, the chaos might have been orchestrated. Sources close to the situation claimed that Claressa herself invited all three men, yes, even Tony Rich, because she wanted to show the world she was untouchable, that she could have past, present, and future all in one room and still come out on top. If that's true, then her plan backfired spectacularly. Instead of looking like a queen controlling her kingdom, she looked like a fighter trapped in a cage match she couldn't escape. By the end of the night, social media had already taken sides. Team Tony, Team Scrappy, Team Pap. Hashtags were flying everywhere. Memes of Claressa sitting between three chairs at once flooded timelines. Some fans mocked her, others defended her, but nobody could stop talking about her. And maybe, just maybe, that was the point. Because in today's world, scandal equals spotlight, and Claressa's 30th birthday just became the messiest headline of the year. But the story doesn't end there. Because just when everyone thought the drama had reached its peak, another leak threatened to blow the roof off this entire scandal. And this time, it wasn't just whispers from a party guest. It was something far more dangerous and far more humiliating. The so-called blurry video from the party was just the beginning. Hours later, when fans thought they had already chewed through all the birthday chaos, another leak surfaced. This time it wasn't shaky phone footage. It was a series of screenshots allegedly pulled from a private group chat between insiders close to Claressa. And what those messages contained was enough to turn her golden celebration into a dark circus. One screenshot appeared to show someone saying, "Scrappy already got his initials on her, Pap don't even know, and Tony still think he got a chance." Whether the messages were real or fabricated didn't matter. The internet ate them up like candy, and within minutes #TattooGate was trending across Twitter and Instagram. But that wasn't all. Another leak dropped, an alleged voicemail from Papoose himself, sounding frustrated, defeated, almost humiliated. In the recording, a man's voice that people swore was Pap muttered, "This is messy. I ain't never been played like this. 3 men at one woman's party? Nah, I ain't going out like that." The clip spread like wildfire, and suddenly Pap, who was once the calm figure in the storm, became the symbol of betrayal, heartbreak, and public humiliation. Fans started spamming his socials with comments like, "Pap, you can't win for losing," and "Bro, just focus on yourself, she ain't worth it." The damage was instant. Meanwhile, Tony Rich wasn't staying quiet either. A mysterious Instagram live popped up late that night. Tony, visibly tipsy, laughing as he called out both Scrappy and Pap. "Y'all can fight over her if you want," he slurred, "but I had her first, and y'all just chasing my leftovers." The live didn't last long. Tony ended it quickly, maybe realizing he had said too much, but it was already clipped, reposted, and dissected by thousands. People called it petty, others called it proof, but one thing was certain. Tony had officially declared war in the messiest way possible. Claressa herself tried to play it cool. Hours after the leak started, she uploaded a polished photo from her party, smiling with her crown, holding a champagne glass, captioned, 30 looks good on me. But the comments betrayed her. Fans weren't buying the picture-perfect facade. Instead, they flooded her mentions with jokes, memes, and accusations. 3 men in one night. You the GHOAT, one wrote. Another mocked, golden hoe of all time, turning her carefully curated birthday photo into a global roast session. The sarcasm was brutal, but it also kept her trending. And in the world of gossip, being talked about, even negatively, is still a win. But behind the scenes, the tension was reaching a boiling point. Word spread that Scrappy had confronted Tony directly after the party. An alleged eyewitness claimed the two nearly came to blows in the parking lot, with Scrappy shouting, "Keep my name out your mouth," and Tony firing back, "You just temporary, she ain't even serious about you." The fight never fully erupted. Security was quick to step in, but the story alone was enough to dominate blogs the next morning. Memes of Tony versus Scrappy, Battle of the Birthday were everywhere. And Papoose? He took the quiet route, or at least tried to. Reports claimed he left the party early, slipping out before things got physical. But instead of calming the storm, his silence only fueled the fire. Fans started spinning theories. Was Pap heartbroken? Was he embarrassed? Or was he secretly plotting revenge? Anonymous sources fed gossip pages lines like, "Pap feels played, but don't be surprised if he drops receipts soon." Whether true or not, the seed was planted, and suddenly everyone was waiting for Papoose to clap back. Then came the twist nobody saw coming, a supposed leaked image. Grainy, watermarked, impossible to fully confirm, but powerful enough to set the internet ablaze. It appeared to show Claressa, arm around Scrappy, pointing at what looked like a fresh tattoo on her side. The image quality was trash, but the implication was explosive. Was this the tattoo everyone had been whispering about? Did she really mark herself with Scrappy's name on her 30th birthday? Within minutes, hashtags like #ScrappyTattoo and #ClaressaExposed started trending. Fans weren't just speculating. They were convinced the scandal had been proven. Tony Rich jumped in again, posting a cryptic story. "Told y'all she for everybody. Ain't nothing special." That one sentence, written in white letters on a black screen, was enough to reignite the feud. Scrappy responded with his own story, posting a flexing arm emoji and the words, "Still winning." And just like that, the birthday chaos turned into an all-out digital war. Pap, for his part, remained quiet, but his silence spoke volumes. Fans begged him to respond, spamming his comments with "Don't let them clown you like this," and "Drop the receipts, Pap." By the following morning, every blog, gossip site, and YouTube channel had Claressa's name plastered across their headlines. Some called her the GWOAT, greatest whore of all time. Others called her a manipulator, a player, a queen of chaos. The boxing champion's legacy was being overshadowed by rumors of a tattoo and 3 men who couldn't seem to stay out of her orbit. And while she tried to laugh it off publicly, sources close to her insisted she was furious. One insider allegedly told reporters she thought she could control the narrative, but it spun out of her hands. Now she's just trying to keep her brand from collapsing. But here's the thing about scandals. They don't just end overnight. They build, they snowball, they grow teeth. And for Claressa, the next blow wasn't about whispers, screenshots, or blurry tattoos. It was about something much darker, something that would drag not just her but all 3 men deeper into the spotlight. Because just when people thought they'd seen it all, a new leak surfaced, this time not from a guest, not from a partygoer, but allegedly from someone far closer. A voice note that promised to flip the entire story upside down. And if the rumors are true, the voice on that tape wasn't Claressa's. It wasn't Scrappy's. It wasn't Tony's. It wasn't even Pap's. It belonged to someone nobody expected, someone who had been watching from the shadows, quietly waiting to make their move. The voice note hit the internet like a bomb. Not shaky, not blurry, not rumor-filled, but crystal clear. A calm but sharp female voice, dripping with venom, saying, "Y'all really think Claressa ran this night? No. I was there. And I know every secret she tried to hide." Within minutes, the clip was everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok edits with dramatic background music. The wildest part? That voice sounded exactly like Remy Ma. Yes, Remy Ma, the woman whose husband, Papoose, was already tangled in this mess. Fans immediately went feral. Remy exposed her? This just turned into Love and Hip Hop, Birthday Edition. Whether it was real or a perfectly timed impression didn't even matter. The chaos had escalated beyond repair. The alleged Remy voice note accused Claressa of using all three men, Papoose, Tony Rich, and Lil Scrappy, not out of love, not even out of lust, but for power. She wanted all eyes on her. She wanted every man fighting just to prove she's still the queen of chaos. But queens fall. And she just set herself up for the hardest fall yet. Social media couldn't get enough. Some swore it was Remy. Others claimed it was an AI deepfake designed to stir drama. But the damage was done. Overnight, Claressa went from birthday girl to the centerpiece of a scandal involving three men, one possible tattoo, and now another woman who may or may not have declared war. Blogs plastered headlines like, Remy Ma destroys Claressa's shields and leaked audio, and Papoose humiliated as wife steps into the ring. Suddenly, the story wasn't just about a messy party. It was about a marriage, loyalty, betrayal, and humiliation on a national scale. Meanwhile, Tony Rich doubled down. Instead of running for cover, he basked in the drama. He posted a throwback picture of himself and Claressa from years ago, captioned, "History don't lie. Some bonds never break." The comments section exploded. Fans dragged him for being petty, while others called it proof that Claressa was still tangled in his web. One comment went viral. Tony out here acting like the GHOAT while Pap looking like the class clown. Savage. Scrappy wasn't staying quiet either. Hours after Tony's post, Scrappy dropped his own. A close-up of him flexing in the mirror, shirtless, with the caption, "Real ones don't compete. They win." And here's the kicker. Fans claimed they spotted fresh ink peeking out from his ribcage, right where Claressa's hand was in that leaked birthday photo. Whether it was real or Photoshop didn't matter. The internet decided it was confirmation. Claressa had the Scrappy tattoo. Screenshots, memes, theories. They flooded every timeline. And poor Papoose. His silence was deafening. Days passed and still no statement, no denial, no clapback. Fans started roasting him in comments. "Bro, she played you like Nintendo." Others begged him to leave the circus altogether. "Pap, walk away. Focus on your music, your family, your peace." But rumors spread that behind closed doors, he wasn't quiet at all. Anonymous insiders whispered that Papoose had been gathering his own receipts, texts, photos, maybe even videos, that could expose everyone involved. One blog posted, "Papoose plotting his revenge. When he drops, the internet won't survive." Claressa, for her part, tried to laugh it all off. She went live on Instagram, crown still on her head, sipping champagne. "Y'all believe anything y'all see online," she said, rolling her eyes. But the comments weren't kind. Floods of GWOT equals greatest whore of all time, 3 men and a tattoo, and snake emojis filled the chat. At one point, a fan typed, "Even Vaughn saw the snakes before you did," and the live nearly broke down into chaos. Claressa ended it early, claiming she had better things to do. But the truth? She couldn't control the narrative anymore. Because then came the twist that truly destroyed her birthday legacy. Screenshots began circulating, not from random gossip blogs, but from Claressa's own alleged burner account. Messages mocking Papoose, calling him easy to fool, bragging about how Scrappy was inked in, and ridiculing Tony for still chasing her after all these years. The receipts were messy, cruel, and, if authentic, painted Claressa as the ultimate manipulator. Fans gasped, enemies rejoiced, and suddenly her career wasn't just in gossip territory, it was in danger. Brands started quietly distancing themselves. A fitness sponsor deleted a birthday shout-out post. A sports podcast that had scheduled her as a guest postponed her appearance. Insiders whispered that even promoters were uneasy. Claressa wasn't trending as a champion anymore. She was trending as a walking scandal. And the bigger the scandal, the harder the fall. But the darkest part was still ahead. Remember that voice note? The one that might have been Remy? Another version leaked. Longer, uncut, and far more brutal. This time, the voice laughed, then said, "She thinks she's untouchable. She thinks no one can dethrone her. But you can't play with people's lives forever. Karma's coming. And it's coming fast." Fans were convinced it had to be Remy, sending a clear warning. If that's true, then Claressa didn't just have 3 men in her orbit. She had a woman with a grudge, a woman with power, and a woman who had no problem pressing the nuclear button. By the end of the week, Claressa's golden birthday had turned into ashes. 3 men, 1 rumored tattoo, countless leaks, and a possible declaration of war from Remy Ma herself. The boxing world watched in silence. The gossip world screamed in delight. And Claressa? She stood in the center, crown tilted, trying desperately to smile as the world around her collapsed. And maybe that's the cruel irony. For years she branded herself as the GWOAT, the greatest woman of all time. But after this birthday, fans weren't calling her that anymore. They'd flipped it, twisted it, mocked it. She wasn't the GWOAT. She was the GWOAT in an entirely different sense, the scandalous, messy, meme-worthy version. And no amount of belts, no amount of victories, could erase the stain of this birthday fiasco. The question now wasn't whether Claressa Shields could fight in the ring. Everyone knew she could. The question was whether she could fight her way out of the scandal she created, the scandal that dragged in Papoose, Tony Rich, Lil Scrappy, and maybe even Remy Ma. And the scariest part? The story wasn't over. Because the internet never forgets. And this time, it wasn't just watching, it was waiting for the next chapter. And there you have it. Claressa Shields' so-called golden 30th birthday turned into one of the messiest scandals of a year. 3 men tangled in chaos, a tattoo rumor that refuses to die, a voice note that might have been Remy Ma, and a legacy that went from world champion to trending meme in the blink of an eye. This wasn't just a party, it was a circus. And Claressa wasn't the ringmaster. She was the main attraction, the spectacle everyone came to laugh at, cry over, or just shamelessly gossip about. But the bigger question is this: where does she go from here? Does Claressa double down, embrace the chaos, and turn her scandal into publicity? Or does she crumble under the weight of 3 men, 1 crown, and a world ready to cancel her at any second? Because make no mistake, the internet never forgets. Screenshots, voice notes, tattoo rumors, once they're out there, they live forever. And now it's your turn. Do you believe Claressa really marked herself with Scrappy's name? Do you think Tony Rich still has a hold on her? Or is Papoose the one secretly holding the biggest receipts of them all? And what about that chilling voice note? Was it Remy Ma, or just a clever fake to stir the pot? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is bigger than one birthday. It's the scandal that could define Claressa's entire legacy. Stay tuned, because if this birthday was chaos, imagine what comes next. And don't forget, subscribe to Celebrity Press right now so you never miss the next twist in this roller coaster. Trust me, the drama is only getting started.